Africa for part of my life.
What was your connection to the uprising?
So the uprising in Brixton, I lived in Brixton. I lived on Mail Road, which was parallel to what they call the front line. And the front line was really a black stronghold at that time. We're talking about 1981. Brixton was a poor community, but Brixton was a very strong community. There was a real sense of community presence amongst the black community in Brixton at that time. So in 1981, when the uprising happened, I was a resident in Brixton and lived in the heart of Brixton.
What do you think was the main cause of the uprising?
So I think the cause of the uprising has a history, and it's a history of how the police treated black people in Brixton and in other black communities, but we're talking about Brixton. And it's a history that goes back probably a decade even before 1981. There had been so many cases of police malpractice, of beating up and framing, young black men in particular, but also working class people in their parties, in the house parties that they had. And so there had been a whole history of police malpractice in Brixton. But what people say caused the uprising is, of course, Operation Swamp. And Operation Swamp was a very intense stop and search by the police of anybody who lived in and around Railton, Mayo, all the surrounding roads. So my husband and I, who lived on Mayo Road, we were stopped by the police when we were going shopping to Brixton Market. And in 81, I was in my 30s, my husband was in his 30s. So we weren't youth, we weren't people who you could say were on their way to do any malpractice. But they were literally stopping and searching anybody as we were just going about our lawful business. And that was very intense, and that went on for a couple of days. And you could just feel the pressure and the tension rising in Brixton. We were a very close community, and people were just talking to each other and saying, this is a liberty, this is just a step too far.